What you see here is what we are going to try to build together today. So as you probably know on this channel, I don't do a lot of front end. So I'm going to try to do that today. But basically this is going to be the mega autocompleter. So it's going to be LLM powered. And this is the layout I want to try to create. So on the top here, we want an AI suggestion box where we can just click tab to kind of bring up the autocomplete suggestion bound to our text editor, right? So you can see this text box display the OpenAI suggestion completions of the user input in real time. And the text editor is of course where we type our text or code. And yeah, and we have this summarize button here that will actually, when we click that with this UI text box here, we're gonna pop up with a summary of the text in this text editor. So that is kind of my plan. And the reason I added these comments here, because I want to try to take this screenshot and bring in as context when we are going to build this now after I've gone through all of this. So I think we're going to try to use some React, some TypeScript, JavaScript. So we're not going to use Python for this project, but it's basically the same setup on the back end. So this is going to consist of a back end and a front end, right? And like I said, this is fairly new territory for me to dive into front end solutions. So it's going to be interesting. And I thought we can do this kind of build together today. So I'm basically going to go through every step I do here. Yeah, we're going to do some shortcuts just for the length of the video. But the idea was that you can use this workflow to create your own small projects like this. So I think we're just going to get into it now and start looking at the initial prompt we want to use for this. And today I think we're going to use GPT-4o, maybe some Claude Opus, we will see. But yeah, let's just get started. So let's just start by trying to create this in ChatGPT-4o. Maybe have to move to Claude Opus, but let's see. So the system message I have set for this project is just going to be, you are a professional software dev with expertise in JavaScript, TypeScript, React, Node.js, etc. So it doesn't matter too much, but I like to do it this way. So remember, I am on the plus version of ChatGPT-4o. I don't even know if you have access to this in the free version yet, but you will after a while, of course. So that's interesting. Okay, so let's move on to kind of the prompt I have prepared for this project. I kind of want to spend a bit of time on that because that is quite important, right? So sometimes for these projects, I kind of like to write my prompts in just a document. I think that's more easy and I kind of can save it for later if I want to find it. So here I want to gather some documentation from OpenAI and I want to give my front-end layout. So we're going to try to just screenshot the intro image I had. I gave a project description. I'm going to walk you through that. I also like to give like a structured overview of the project description. So I do like a step-by-step with maybe a numbered list or something. That basically is the same as my description, but I just like it to do it in more of like a structured format. And then I just finish up with a pretty simple, help me with this project step by step, please. So let's just go through this. So I just start with, I want to create a project that uses GPT-4o OpenAI API to generate a mega autocompleter. We want the backend to use JavaScript, TypeScript, etc. Frontend to be React, Node.js. And I want to gather some documentation just for the chat completion part here. So I just went over to the playground here in OpenAI. We can turn off this now. And you can see I just went to API reference and I found chat completion. And I just copied this example here. You can also grab some more documentation if you need to. And I selected Node.js now, not Python, because I think we want to use JavaScript for this. So basically that is what we brought into our prompt here in the documentation part. And yeah, we're going to upload the image. So here we kind of come to the project description. I think I'm going to read this, but if you want to skip ahead a bit, that's fine too. So I try to go kind of try to describe it as precise as I can, right? So the main part of the project is to create a simple text editor that has superb autocomplete function powered by OpenAI API with the GPT-4o model. So when the user starts typing something like, what is the biggest tower in Paris, right? So Paris. I want in real time to send user input to OpenAI API, get the suggestion back to autocomplete the sentence in real time by pressing tab. So if we get the suggestion up in the box, we want to bring it down by just pressing tab. That is quite important. The OpenAI API for GPT-4o suggestion should be visible in ghost text. Ghost text, that's kind of this light gray text, right? In a text box above the text editor. This ghost text should be in light gray so the user can see and confirm the suggestions by pressing tab. So on a high level, it's a text editor similar to like Nano, where you can write, but it's powered by the OpenAI API to autocomplete suggestions. I use Windows and VS Code. So that is kind of my setup. And we basically, in the structured project description, is basically the same, but we just wrote it in a kind of different way. So it's more structured. And I just finish up with, now let's start creating this project with me, step by step, please. So let's just copy this full project, head back to ChatGPT here, start a new thing, and let's just paste in our prompt. So yeah, we have the full prompt here. Now let me just grab the image, right? So yeah, here is kind of the image. So let's just upload that too. Okay, so now we have kind of uploaded our image here too, right? So that's perfect. And I think that's basically it. And yeah, like I said, front out layout is going to be the uploaded image. So now let's just try to confirm this and see where this takes us. Okay, so let's go up here. So we got like a step-by-step solution here. I think that's pretty good. So we're going to set up our environment first. Yes. Install the packages. Set up the backend. So we're going to use Node probably for this. Set up the front end. And that is going to be React probably, I think. Add some CSS. Yeah. And run the project. So we're going to run the Node server.js and the npm start. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. So I guess the next step is actually just following all of these instructions and see where we end up, right? For this project, I'm just gonna use VS Code Studio as I kind of described in the prompt. So I just open a new folder, call it Mega Auto, and I just logged into the terminal because I think we're gonna start running some commands here. So if we go back to our first step here, so we just wanna create a folder named Mega Autocompleter. I think I'm just gonna skip that because I already created this folder, right? So we're just gonna start on this here, right? This command. So let's go back here and just run that. And we're just gonna let this run. Okay, so we have our package.json, that's good. And let's just go back here. So we wanna install some required packages. So I'm just gonna grab all of these commands here and just install them one by one. Okay, that was done. Next part is just gonna cd into our directory front end, right? Good. And we're gonna install Axios. So let's just install that. We're gonna cd out of this directory now and go back to our main directory to start with our backend, right? So we wanna create a file named server.js. So this is in kind of our root folder, server.js, right? Okay. And we want to paste in this code here. So let's just copy that. Okay. And remember to save, right? Set up the front end, navigate to the front end directory and open source app.js. Yes, we can do that. So let's do, oops, down here, cd front end. Right, we can also just click here, go to source, was it app.js, right? We can bring down this a bit. Yes, replace the content with the following. So let's just grab that. Okay, so let's try it. Let's just replace this. Let's save it. So here you can see some ghost text. And this is the front end, remember. So if we go back to the server, I just want to check, yeah, we have some OpenAI request here. We probably need our API key and stuff, but let's just wait on that for a while. Let's go back here, app.css. So let's grab this styling here, app.css. Yes, we can find this here. Let's just paste in that, save it. And now we kind of want to start just to see where we are, right? So in the root directory, run node server.js, all right? So let's just do that in this terminal, right? I can bring this up a bit. Let's clear this. So this is in kind of our root folder. So let's run server node.js. Okay, so this is running on host 5000. Let's open up a second terminal here and let's do cd front end, right? And let's try to run npm start. Okay. And now we should probably see something, hopefully. Okay, so we have a text box here. But this is not where we want to be, right? But you can see it is working. Let's say I watched, oops, the movie Her. Okay, so this is a start, but this looks horrible, right? But you can see we have some autocomplete. What if I press tab now? Yes, so that brought everything in here. So that's a start. Now I think we just want to iterate on this and try to improve it and see if we can get it to more where we kind of try to align this with our initial setup, right? Or design that we had in an image, right? Because this looks nothing like it, right? But first I just want to update the backend a bit. I want to create a .env file, and just so we can slot our API key in, right? I just asked for that. So it says in the root of the project, create a .env file. Okay, we can do that. So let's just head over to our root here. New file. Let's just do .env, right? And then we want to grab this OpenAI key part here and just copy that. And yeah, let me just go grab my OpenAI key and paste it in here and save. Okay, so I saved that. Of course, I'm not going to show you that now. Let's just continue down here. So here we want to install .env. So let's just copy that and let's head back to our terminal here. So let's just stop this project and just terminate this. We can go to our root and just do npm install .env, right? That was quick and easy. So that means now we can use the .env file to kind of bring in our API key here now. If we look down here, so you can see load the environment variables, modify server.js, and here is full updated backend code with kind of the .env configuration here. So let's just copy that. Let's go back here and paste this in and save it. So you can see we have selected our GPT-4o model, right? And that is important. But I think I want to kind of alter my system message a bit here. So let me just come up with something else here. So what I wanted to try is just to change the system message to: you are an expert at auto-completing sentences. Always end your suggestions on a complete sentence. So is that gonna work? I'm not quite sure, but let's try it out and let's save that. Okay, so I think that now we kind of have our API key slotted into this. We have the GPT-4o model set. So now I kind of want to work on the front end part to kind of aim it more into kind of the image here we want, right? So let me try to suggest a new prompt here. So maybe we can get more something like this. Okay, so for this, I kind of wanted to try to use the image function. So let's just grab a screenshot of the state of our front end now. So I'm just gonna copy that and let's just head over to our prompt here, just paste in that. Then I want to kind of upload our previous image again, and I want to kind of to explain what kind of front end I want this to be, right? Okay, so now we have uploaded the image, the state of our UI now, the state we want. And here I put in the prompt. The first image is the state of the front end now. But my initial suggestion was the second image. So I want a text box that displays the autocomplete suggestions from the OpenAI API. This box should have the title AI Suggestions with the subtitle Click Tab to use. The main text box should have the title Text Editor. We also want a blue button with the text Summarize, and the text box to display our upcoming backend feature for summarizing the text in the text editor using the OpenAI. Can you fix our front end, please? So let's try this now. Okay, so we have a new updated code here. So let's just start by copying an app.js to just check the front end. So the nice thing with React is we can kind of do this in real time. So let's just head back to our studio here, app.js. So let's paste in this, let's save it. So this is compiled successfully, perfect. Let's also grab our CSS updated file. Let's go back here, app CSS, let's paste it in, let's compile it. And now we can head back to our React app and you can see, yeah, this kind of looks more something what we want. So if we try this now, I watched the movie Her. And I was fascinated by his portrayal of AI and human relationships. And here we kind of are adhering to our system prompt that it's going to end the suggestion in a full sentence, right? So let me just click tab. tab. Yeah, that brought it down. And now it kind of keeps suggesting stuff here. So you can take, the storyline was quite thought-provoking and made me reflect on possibilities of tech in the future. Yeah, we want to bring that down. And then we get a new suggestion. So yeah, it's working pretty good. Let's try to implement our summarize backend part now before we try to test the summarize function here. So you can see we already have a suggested code to actually implement the summarize endpoint feature here. But I just want to ask some follow-up questions here because I want to know if the button is actually using for this. So let me ask about that. So the prompt I'm going to use here is the summary backend feature should only be triggered when the user presses the button summarize. I also don't want to show the summary text box before the user pressed the button to summarize the text. If the user pressed the button, the summary text box should slide in dynamically under the text edit box and button. Can you fix this? Let's try that. Okay, so we have the new codes here. So I'm just copied all of that. I pasted in and updated every single line here. I added a new system role for the summarization part. So you are an expert at summarizing a text in a concise format expressed in bulleted points. So let's see if our summarization is going to be in these nice bulleted points. So yeah, I think we're just going to test this now and see if these updates made any difference. So let's go back to our app here and yeah. First, you can see now we don't see actually the summarize part here. So let's do the same query. I watched the movie Her. Okay, so let's just bring that down. And let's try to click the summarize button. Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. So you can see now we got a new box. And we also got the bulleted points. Explores relationships between humans and AI. Storyline is both thought-provoking and emotional. Provides memorable viewing experience. Perfect. Okay, so the final thing I want to fix with our app now is kind of some styling. And I want to fix this issue here. So if I go def hello world, you can see, okay, so we have the suggestion for this Python code. But if I press tab now, you can see, oh, we get this double issue here. So it doesn't kind of take away... you can see it doesn't take away, it doesn't continue our line here, so that's a bit strange, right? So I want to try to fix that, so let's see if I can do that. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of this and ask if we can update this in the code, right? Okay, so that was a very simple fix. So I got the new updated app.js here, so I just pasted that into our code, and when we go to our app now and we do like def hello, something like this, and we press tab, you can see now it's working. So that was pretty easy. The final thing I wanted to do, I kind of changed up the image a bit. So now it's kind of a clean image of the UI we want. So I said, great, the issue is fixed. Finally, I want to style the UI in exactly the style as the uploaded image. Can you update the front end and implement the styling design changes? So hopefully this is the last part of our project now. And yeah, we haven't spent that much time. So yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so we got this app CSS file back, so I just copied that, I pasted that in kind of to our code, and now let's see how kind of the look is, right? So this is more of what I wanted. I wanted to kind of be this dark mode. We have a different font now, and let's try it out. Let's do def hello world. Perfect. Let's try the summarize button. Okay, so it does slide a bit outside the box here, but that's fine. Function name hello, functionality prints hello world to the console, and then we have the code again. Yeah, this is just a minor issue. Maybe we need some dynamic box here or something, but I'm not gonna bother about that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy how this turned out, because yeah, like I said, I haven't really done any front end stuff before. I have tried it, but I'm not so good at it. But I think I enjoy this. I think GPT-4o was very helpful in this project, because like I said, when you don't know much about something like, let's say, front end and this React, maybe Node.js and even JavaScript, I don't know so much about. I have used it, of course, but yeah, not my strongest side. But this, yeah, turned out pretty good. I think I spent about around an hour creating this. So that is kind of my takeaway. I kind of know now going forward, I can implement this simple, kind of nice looking UIs into my project. And I think this is a step forward for me personally. If I'm going to do some demos of stuff, we can do like a pretty nice, simple UI instead of running everything in a terminal, right? So I hope you found this interesting, and like I said, just why my idea with this video was more talking about kind of the workflow I use when I try to create this small project in like ChatGPT 4.0, like Opus 2. I think that's great for coding. So hopefully you can learn something from this. And so kind of the takeaway is good planning and kind of thinking about what the project should look like in forehand. If we scroll all the way up, remember we spent a lot of time here in our prompt, right? And that is kind of the takeaway I have. Like, the focus shouldn't be mostly on the syntax or the code. The most focus you should put in is to kind of how you want to design your project. The other part is just, yeah, some simple syntax, right? So yeah, we spent most of our time designing and thinking about how we want this to work. We don't want to spend too much time just typing out the code. That's just, it's not so productive, is it? Unless you really enjoy typing. But yeah, as always, if you want to support me, just become a member of the channel. You will get access to our community GitHub and our community Discord. It's going to be a lot of interesting projects going forward. I will try to incorporate some more front end, but it's mostly going to be focused on everything is around AI, right, on my channel. So some interesting stuff coming up, I think. I have a cool project for next week. It's going to be interesting, so look out for that. Other than that, have a great day. See you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.